Hi everyone, welcome back to DM Druggies Matter, my show about druggies and why the war on drugs is wrong, why druggies matter. And today's episode is going to be about police brutality, one of the many reasons why the war on drugs is wrong. And as you will see, there's many reasons to face the fact that police brutality and the war on drugs go hand in hand. Now, last summer, May 25th, a day that will go down in history, saw an uprising amongst the blacks and the other minority groups, including white people, poor white people for the most part. And a lot of these people are drug users. The reason why they feel that police brutality is so wrong is because even though they're not black and haven't died from it, they've still been subjected to the same type of brutality. I myself, look, do you see this? That is the direct result of police brutality. So don't tell me that it's only the black people that have to worry about police brutality, because I have a crushed bone in my wrist, crushed in jail, because I was being forced to exercise in lieu of medication. So I know what I'm talking about when it comes to police brutality. Now, for the most part, the uproar is about the deaths. And I do want to address that very issue. Because the war on drugs amplified and justified that brutality that already existed, my Black Lives Matter friends. Yes, I am well aware of the history of black enslavement and the brutality that stemmed from the end of slavery and has proliferated from that point until this day in an altered form. Subjugation, oppression, brutality, all of which are true. But how many of you are aware of the fact that one of the main reasons marijuana was made illegal was because the senator from Louisiana hated the black jazz musicians who smoked marijuana and got their marijuana from the Mexicans that came across the border in Texas. And the Texas senator didn't like that either. So they went to, they were instigated to do this by Dow Chemical, just so you know. Corporate had a hand in this from the very beginning. They went to Anslinger, who was a diehard, oh my God, we have to make them stop doing everything that's not just perfectly righteous according to my thoughts. That's his character. So he went to the media and Hollywood, and he created a propaganda campaign that depicted black men raping white women, killing people in the name of marijuana. Now, this also extended to white men and women too, girls and boys. So it covered all colors and creeds from the very beginning. But the very inception of the prohibition of marijuana was directly directed at the black uh, citizens of the state of Louisiana. for the use of marijuana. And the police were given license to be brutal to all segments of the population who used marijuana because of the lie of propaganda, which deified or which demonized the user and created mass panic and fear in the public consciousness towards those who use drugs, which at that time mainly consisted of minority groups. And the police brutality that we know today is a direct result of those events. Because it was the demonization of the drug user, mainly black and brown, that gave the police the empowerment. The empowerment started in the 20s with the Roaring Twenties, which saw a proliferation of police brutality and strength of arms. I mean, they had fucking Tommy guns. Come on. Seriously. And it has gotten worse since then. And that was a drug related incident too, because it was alcohol. But alcohol was too popular. But marijuana and every other drug that has been made illegal since then has glorified the police, demonized the citizens, and created the elements that led to George Floyd. A direct line. Black men in Louisiana being imprisoned for supposedly being violent, deadly criminals. To George Floyd, a black man, being seen as a violent, deadly criminal who must be stomped down, face first into the ground, and totally ignored because he's a criminal. Why is he a criminal? Because the war on drugs made him a criminal. The war on drugs made every black and brown person in America a criminal in the eyes of the government and the police. And then on top of that, let's add Hollywood to the mix. So Hollywood has spent its entire fucking time since the beginning of television glorifying the police. Adam 12. Emergency. Uh, Let me see. What is it? All of it. Turner and Hooch. I can go down a list of hundreds upon hundreds of television shows where the cops, all the way back to let's not forget the Cowboys and Robbers days, the Cowboys and Indians days, where the gun smoke, shoot 'em up in the streets, all the way through to LAPD and NCIS and all of that glorifies and empowers the police while demonizing and criminalizing the minorities and the poor. You wonder why they treat us like crap. Turn on your television and watch if you can find it, watch Cops. That was the most disgusting, ridiculous, flagrant display of racism and prejudice. And it was glorified. How many years did that disgusting program have ratings? You disgust me, America. You truly do. Because you glorify the demonization and criminalization of honest, good, hardworking Americans whose only fault is that they didn't get born into a rich middle class family, that they're not white, or if they are white, that they're not from a middle class or rich family. trailer trash come to mind. I'm living in a trailer right now. Like I said, marijuana was prohibited and deified by the use of blacks. Direct line of evidence, my friend. The police are as brutal as they are because of the war on drugs and the glorification of the fucking police by Hollywood. So all you Hollywood assholes out there who have glorified the police for decades and demonized my people for decades, you are just as responsible for George Floyd's death as the man who stood on his neck. So, we have a big problem with police brutality. We have had it shoved in our face in every police drama that Hollywood could come up with. While at the same time, uh, dumbing down my people and making them to out to be deadly criminals that have to be brainwashed into giving up their way of life. Rehab? That's another episode. But anyway, hello? Does anybody know what freedom is? What oppression is? What the systemic cause of all of our police brutality is? I got an answer for you. War on drugs. Because it's like the Jim Crow days and all that stuff. It's like we outgrew that with technology. And it morphed into something else when we got television. It morphed into this proliferation of cops are heroes and everybody that they kill is a terrible person that deserves to die. And you wonder why they kill us for a fucking cigarette or a $20 bill. Well, it was because Matt Dillon killed people for a cigarette and a $20 bill. Pretty much. And so did Adam 12. And so did Turner, or so did Cagney and Lacey. And can I go down the line of a billion fucking shows that glorified cops, demonized drug dealers, and made it okay for cops to kill people? Made it to be, they were worshipped as heroes because they killed the bad guys. And then you wonder why people die in the streets. Hello? Think with your brains, not with the propaganda that you've been fed all your life. Hollywood is a propaganda machine. And how... Okay, I'm not even going to go into the Democrat-Republican bullshit politics. Because both sides of that politics is behind the war on drugs. Just because you're going to legalize marijuana doesn't mean the war on drugs is over. There's more drugs than just marijuana. And every person who is demonized because of their drug use is just as much in need of protection as the marijuana smokers are. And whether you're black, brown, yellow, red, white, or a mix of all the above, if you use drugs, we've all been brutalized by the police. So may the Grey watch over you, guide you, protect you, and keep you from all harm, and may they teach you right from wrong, and may you be worthy of them. May your thoughts, words, and deeds reflect truth, good, and light the unicorn way. Find your joy and pursue it. Make that your guild choice when we get to Camp Zion. My name is Zion. If you get high, do drugs, you have every right and reason to. Believe me, I know. I wrote 2 books about it. I love you too much to say goodbye. I'm going to say later now.